Welcome, listeners, to Thrice, a horror movie podcast brought to you by Sinister Siblings, where we review a horror movie not once, not twice, but thrice, to see what comes from repeat viewings and share our thoughts with you, our dear listeners. I'm Adam. As always, joining me are co-hosts Mark.
Hello.
And Tracy.
Hello.
And this episode, we're feeling a little bit like we're being watched, because we're revisiting The Watchers for part 2.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is. I'm very excited. We have new microphone setups,
Yes.
so we're very excited with our new toys.
Hope you can hear the difference.
Yes. Wallets hope you can hear the difference.
Absolutely.
Obviously, if you're listening to part 2, you've probably got a pretty good idea of how things work. But just to remind you, the way the podcast works is the first viewing that we do, we base our conversation just around our own initial thoughts, as well as, what we picked up, say, from the trailer. The second time we do it, which is what we're doing tonight, is with the information that we've got from each other, which is sort of helps inform from the first chat to inform our second viewing. And then the third viewing that we'll do will be based around some external input as well. So in this particular case, we'll be covering off the book that the film was based off, as well as some input we got from the film cinematographer. So, Tracy, if you want to give us just a little recap about The Watchers.
Yes, so The Watchers came out in June 2024 at the cinema. And the synopsis is, well, it's rather exciting. It says, you embark on a thrilling journey in The Watchers, which is directed by Ishana Knight I can never pronounce it. Shyamalan. We follow Mina, an artist stranded in an Irish forest with 3 strangers. They are stalked by mysterious creatures each night. As darkness falls, tension mounts, and they realise they're being hunted. With palpable suspense, The Watchers keeps you on the edge, unravelling secrets in a gripping battle for survival. Prepare to be captivated by the unknown in this spellbinding tale of courage and mystery. So that manages to tell you...
Where are you getting that from?
Very little from the website.
The Hoyt's web. Well, that's their official byline.
That's the official synopsis.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I must say, I quite like the word palpable.
Yes.
It is. It's sort of, the way it sounds is the way you hear it.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, it seems palpable.
That's deep. Wasn't that
That
the
was
Emperor?
very deep. Yeah. Sorry?
Wasn't that the Emperor from Star Wars?
Yes. Emperor
Nice.
palpable.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's The Watchers. So, guys, second viewing.
Yes.
Yeah. What did you find, Adam?
Well, there was a couple of things that I was going to look for. There's a lot of problems with this movie. The central conceit of this movie is absurd, and you can suspend your disbelief for all kinds of things. But I feel like this movie makes the grave mistake for me of trying to tether it to reality, and then the whole thing just falls apart and it loses me. I really liked it. It really kind of started to get on my nerves a little bit, this movie, this time.
Oh.
I was starting to feel like, at its worst, I kind of feel like it's maybe the worst kind of movie, which is like stylish but kind of empty, But that's being very harsh. That's like, I wanted to see what the parrot was about.
Yes.
I was like, is there going to be more about the parrot? Is it going to reveal more to me the parrot?
Yeah.
I still don't really understand why there was the parrot. I also wanted to look for a better explanation of how she got lost on the rocky road to Dublin.
Well, yes. Well, I think the answer to those both those questions is you'll never know. And I think it was like what we talked about last time was I think a lot of excuses in this film were just like, this is just the movie. This is just what we do. This is just what you have to believe. But I agree with you. But I don't think you're going to find answers to those questions in this film.
Well, I had a bit of a look at the book. And Mark, you've finished the book.
Yes.
And already it had a better explanation. It doesn't even really matter. I don't know why it sticks in my craw so much. But it had a bit of an explanation as to how she got lost. It was, because the map that she was drawn was terrible.
Ah.
So it's like, okay. And she wasn't going to Dublin. She was going
to Belfast, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
That,
complete
but it
opposite
was-
direction. No wonder she got lost. She was going the wrong way.
that's right.
No, it's because the film and the book is really it's a modern fairy tale.
Yes.
So in so much as that the author used a lot of classic folklore and mythology and sort of wove that into a current type of tale. So my takeaway from a lot of it was Mina, like the others who ended up in the coop, it's a little bit Narnia-like, I guess, in that she wasn't intending to be on that road, but that's the road she ended up on. And the way the book actually paints it is the car breaks down outside the forest, not in the forest is what's in the film.
Yeah.
And so she actually goes into the forest to try and seek help because she figures there's nothing behind her, because she knows behind her there's nothing. It's open fields and emptiness. So she's thinking if she needs help, her better chance is to go forward rather than to go backwards. And that's how. But then, and I'm trying to think, and it'll come to me before the end of the show, that idea where there's only a certain way you can exit. And, even though you would think you could exit any which way, that the way that it sort of twists in the internal logic of the forest, I guess, there is only a certain direction you can actually be able to find your way out.
Right. Well, in this, it's just like she's just following the road to Dublin. Nothing unusual. She doesn't take any strange turns or shortcuts or anything. And even I noticed this time, which I didn't quite pick up, there's like missing persons posters on the town on the way in, sort of suggesting basically it must be every single person that drives down this road goes, the same thing must happen to them. Their car breaks down and they get lost in the forest.
Well, it comes out in the movie and in the book that the professor, Kilmartin is he was basically sacrificing like 13 workers a day to the Watchers.
That
as a payment, I guess, for getting the place built.
Yes, that there was the final straw for me. I was like, you can't get anything built with 13 people working consistently every day, let alone 13 new people. You're just killing 13 people a day and getting away with it for however long it took to build that thing. Please.
Okay, and that's the end of tonight.
Yes.
It's a big hole.
Yes.
It absolutely is a big hole. There's no doubt about that. But let's go back one step before we start picking apart too far.
Sure.
So obviously, Adam, you're saying that because you were okay with it last time round, so you're saying it really hasn't held up second time round for you.
I guess not. Yeah, like last time, I had to listen to it, our first episode. And you took a big dump on this movie,
which is interesting because my dump has softened.
Okay, let's hear it. Tell us.
There's an image.
Tell us about it.
Well, I
There's
think
a sponsorship opportunity right there.
Metamucil.
I think for me, like last time around, I think I pointed out I felt a bit misled, and that I felt the movie was perhaps going to be something that it wasn't. But knowing now what it was. I think I could sort of look at it a bit differently and go, okay, well, I know what I'm in for. Let's have a little bit. Now let's see what it is. Because I'm not opposed to sort of that folksy,
No.
like that Grimm's fairy tale kind of vibe. It's just it wasn't what I was expecting, I guess, first time round.
Yeah.
So I actually found I got a bit more out of it because there was, and I actually would almost go as far to say as I think I'll get more out of it again next time. I actually think, it's like that sort of person that you meet who has that hard exterior, but with a bit of effort, you learn more about them. But, on first glance, perhaps you don't think there's much there. Because I think there's more going through this.
Yeah.
And it might be because I've read the story as well with the book. It'll be interesting to see how that meshes. There's certainly some artistic choices and license that the filmmakers have taken that broadly I'm not sure were all successful, but we'll talk about that in a sec. But there's a lot of interesting things like the twinning elements of it I thought was very interesting. Obviously a lot of the stuff to do with the mirrors, but also that idea of everyone's wearing different faces. The Watchers are learning to mimic. And yes, by the way, everybody, heavy spoilers, but you probably know that by now.
Oh, yeah. We should have mentioned that a few minutes ago.
But, everyone's wearing different faces, and it's highlighted especially by Mina, who is in her normal everyday life, going out at night dressed as somebody else. And I thought it was really interesting watching it this time round. So when she goes out and she pretends that she is Caroline the ballerina when she's at this pub, and a little bit of trivia that I picked up along the way with my research between first episode and this episode is that pub they shot that scene in was the same pub that the book was written in.
Oh,
okay.
that's
There you
cool.
So when Mina was being Caroline the ballerina, she tells the fellow who's trying to chat her up that she's in Swan Lake.
Yes.
And then when she gets to the coop and Kira starts dancing, because the Watchers like to watch her dancing, she's dancing to a piece that's played on the theremin, which is called, and I'll bastardise this, so I might actually get my darling sister, who's much better with French, just to read that top line for me. What's it called? If you can read my chicken scratch.
Oh, goodness. I think it's Le Carnaval des Animaux.
That sounds good to me. So it's actually a section, and it's the part of it's number 12, and it's called The Swan. So I just thought it was interesting that she was playing a ballerina in Swan Lake, and then someone's doing ballet to a thing about the swan. So there's a lot of that twinning in there, which I thought was really interesting, that way it works and who can you trust. And obviously the big reveal is that there's a Watcher living with them.
Yeah, among them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Put it all just...
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess from my perspective, from watching this a second time, I too, like I quite enjoyed it the first time. I think I was the only one of us who actually quite enjoyed it the first time. And so I wasn't, averse to watching it a second time. And I actually did find that I did see a lot more this time when I watched it, particularly around the character of Mina and, like Mark was just saying, around reflections and mirror images, seeing yourself, the mimicry, all of that. And because, of course, like initially when I first watched it, when you do see Mina dress up as Caroline and go out and pretend to be his ballerina, it felt, and it still does, it feels very clipped on. So unless you're kind of following that little sort of storyline or that element, it does feel like, why did we see her go out? Like for 10 minutes of the film, we just see her going out dressed up. I don't understand. But of course, it's to sort of evoke the idea that she also is a changeling, because basically the Watchers are fairies, they're changelings, and so of course they take on the persona of whoever they're watching and mimicking. And so she's very much a changeling. And so I think what I picked up this time was, because Madeline, the older woman, she's a halfling, so she's sort of half fairy and half human. So, and she's living secretly amongst them. And she and Mina have a bit of a fractious relationship from the get-go. And it's almost because they recognize in each other the masks. Like Mina says often, she's lying to us. Why would you, to Kira, she's like, well, Madeline's lying. Why are you believing her?
Which is a natural, normal response.
Yeah, and she's, because Mina's also like a rule breaker and stuff like that, which is another theme through the film.
Yeah.
But I think it's because they both recognized in each other that they weren't what they appeared, that there was something underneath. And basically throughout the film, there's so much where that recognition comes into play. And I guess towards the end of the film as well, how Mina is kind of, well, there were two final girls really, but she's one of our final girls, and having that confrontation with Madeline, because I think there was almost a kinship there, because they both had burdens that they were hiding and not coming to terms with. So yeah, I sort of got that element throughout the whole film was much more clear to me this time. Yeah, so to my mind, it did sort of lose a little bit of puff as we went through. And I think with the professor as well, because in the coop, obviously, like we've just spoken about, the professor is the person who built it, who went out into the forest, who's done all these things. And, you really I found that I was starting to see him as really, obviously, very unethical and very selfish. And
he always plays kind of a dirtbag person, that guy.
The actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all
Lynch,
yeah.
Lynch, is it?
Yeah, I'm not
Scott
sure
Lynch?
of his name, but yeah, he's a very familiar face, and he does. he does tend to play sort of
He's one of those that guy
complicated
actors, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's
Yeah.
in everything.
yeah.
He's
there's a lot of things.
the cheating husband in Sliding Doors.
Ooh, there's a throwback.
John Lynch.
Tell me you're old without telling me you're old.
Really?
yeah,
Oh God. Okay.
I think that's him anyway.
Yeah. So
All right, well, let me throw some dot points at you from the book compared to the film. And I just want to get you guys to give me a little bit of feedback. We won't take this drags out too long, but give me a little bit of feedback. So, in the book, Mina has dark hair
yeah.
and is Irish.
Okay.
In the film, she's blonde and American.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What differences does that make for you?
No.
Obviously, Ashana, the director, wanted to create a more fish out of water kind
Yeah.
of in wrong place, wrong time kind of thing.
Yeah. That would be immediately what that says to me.
Mm.
That it's to make it even more foreign, being in the forest, and more unreal for Mina. Yeah.
I think it would have been a purely commercial decision. They needed some kind of name, and they want someone.
Well,
People aren't going to watch a movie with like an Irish lead.
yeah. Well,
That's a big call.
that could have been as well.
What about Colin Farrell?
Well,
He could have put on a wig.
He's an Irish lead.
He
Is
could
he a
have got
lead?
up
Is he a
there.
lead? Like,
Colin Farrell's been he was in that phone booth movie.
it depends on the what movie.
Phone booth.
Never heard of it. It's like it depends on the movie and it depends on the actor, of course.
You just
But, I mean,
alienated all our Irish listeners.
No. I'm not saying that there can't be awesome Irish movies. There are, and like Cillian Murphy, I'm sure everyone will be
Oh, yeah.
screaming down the line. But I'm saying like it would have been a studio decision saying we need. Who knows? I don't even know. I quite like her. The what's her
Dakota.
name? Yeah, Dakota Fanning. I quite like her in it. I remember you saying that you didn't, but I thought she was good in it. But
So drive by there, just throw me under the bus on that.
you said that she was no good.
Felt she was phoning it in a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, moving along. So in the book, Mina's mum had only just died. Wasn't years and years ago.
Okay.
And she died of an illness.
Mm.
Didn't die in a car crash.
Oh,
So that whole kernel of story,
yeah.
that nugget that's in the film, was actually just a creation for the film to
Yeah.
create that level with between Mina and her sister and those guilt and all of that sort of thing.
Mm.
Not in the book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's the thing as well, isn't it? Guilt and grief are quite
Well, and
quite prevalent in this film for a lot of the characters are carrying guilt and grief.
yeah, guilt and how there are consequences for not towing the line, kind of thing.
Yes.
That's one of the big themes of this movie: rules and consequences.
Mm.
You know.
So we've got, which I thought was quite good in the book, and I'm not sure why they didn't put it in the film. So Mina actually spends the first night that she's lost in the car.
Yes.
And so for me, reading that, then when the following day she's like, well, I have to do something. There becomes an extra level of desperation that wasn't really there in the film, because in the film, she's like, oh, my car's broken down. Well, I'll get out and go for a walk. Oh, I saw someone.
Yeah.
Help me.
Yeah.
Whereas in the book, she's already been kind of lost for a day.
Yeah, and, she's
And
getting
so
desperate.
when she sees Madeline and she's like, come into the coop sort of thing, it gave more sense to go, well, yeah, at this point in time, that seems like a good option
yeah,
because you've
I'll
already
be
been lost for a day kind of thing.
Yeah.
Interestingly, the coop has more than one room in the book.
A toilet.
No, like a whole living space with a fireplace and everything.
Oh, and is it also viewable by the watchers?
No, it's kind of like an outdoor. It's not really safe, but it's like a second area.
An alfresco area.
Yeah. What else did we have in the book? Mina doesn't go into a burrow.
Okay.
So that whole section where she goes down into the burrow and discovers things and that was all added in for the film.
Yeah, I guess for more action, for a
Really?
bit more tension and a bit more pace, I guess.
So when she goes down into that burrow, she finds detritus of previous victims and people that have been taken by the woods, bikes and evidence and things from 1992. Is there any exposition like that in the book? Any suggestion that they've
No.
been taking people for years or people have gone missing in this woods for years?
No.
Nope. Okay.
No. So I think the connecting tissue for that is by Mina doing that sort of angered the watchers and they kind of attacked the coop and things a little bit.
Right.
In the book, they have a situation where I've forgotten the young lad's name now.
Danny?
Danny. he steals the keys. It's a big thing in the book that Madeline holds the keys to lock the door, and he steals the keys and he actually locks Madeline out. And Mina gets locked out with her, and so the two of them end up having to huddle in this second room in the coop, this where the fireplace and such is.
So instead of under the bush like they did.
Correct, and that's what angers the Watchers.
Yes.
One thing which was a big thing in the movie for me, and it still was again this time, is in the book, Kilmartin's office has not been kept for posterity. In the book, there's a box of papers in storage that Mina goes and finds, which makes so much more sense.
That totally makes
and
more
really
sense.
wouldn't have changed. I don't think it would have changed the film to have just said she went to the university. Because in the book, she goes to the university, the person goes, I don't even know who you're talking about. But then looks it up and says, oh, hang on, we used to have someone like that. Wait, I think there's a box of stuff.
But then you wouldn't have seen the cool tapestry on the wall and stuff. It's a bit more cinematic than just a box of papers.
Yeah, but still it would have gotten the point across.
They could have had a picture of the tapestry or something in there, really.
Yeah.
And probably the other little one, which I thought was interesting, is there's a point when they're watching the Kilmartin videos where he refers a couple of times he refers to the Cooper's Wonderland.
Yeah.
Now, that's not in the book.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really interesting. I wrote it down actually when I was taking notes for the film, was around the fact that he calls it Wonderland. So I'm like, I wonder at what point who started calling it the Coop then? When did that become a thing? Because the bird element is there.
Yes.
There's certainly being caged and being free is certainly a part. And a bird is a really simple metaphor, I guess, for flying free like that.
Yeah.
Does the book pay off more of that stuff? The bird, the parrot.
The bird is a character in the film. She doesn't name it like she does in the movie.
Yeah.
But the bird,
yellow one.
she keeps the bird. It's her pet. She looks after it the whole time she's out there. She takes the bird back with her to the city again.
Okay.
Even that part, the whole end of the film was messy for me. And in the book, it's much clearer. Like in the book, they don't just go, oh, good, we got on the bus, catch you later. In the book, they all go back together to Mina's house. And they spend the night in Mina's house. And then in the morning, Madeline leaves, and then Kiara leaves, and like they actually have a goodbye session kind of thing, where that kind of makes a little bit more sense. It kind of connects what's going on a little bit more rather than just weird. You go that way, I'll go this way.
Disappearing on each other, yeah. So, yeah, this time I think, the film did still hold my attention. So I guess sort of pulling together a few of the threads here, it did still hold my attention, and I actually had forgotten the twist. So as the twist was coming up, I'm like, hang on, that's right, what is the go here? And so I kind of, that did surprise me again. Though again, it was one of those things where you have to suspend your belief a little bit. But I think I did see more this time. The forest was way less scary. Like on first viewing, I really, really enjoyed that forest setting, and I thought it was really atmospheric, and I remember thinking it was like another character in the film on its own, whereas this time it really sort of didn't have that for me. And I actually thought, like, and I know you mentioned it last time, Mark, that you were sort of like surprised you didn't think it was a horror. I sort of think it's not really horror. I mean, maybe it's depending on what scares you, I guess. But it's almost like an action adventure. It's almost like a survival in the wilderness tale. Like you could have replaced The Watchers with a bear or on the ocean with sharks, and it's still people stuck in an environment trying to get back to civilization and trying to break free.
It kind of reminds me of like Lost or something, like a bunker kind of.
Yeah, kind of
scenario.
gone through something. So, I don't know.
Well, there is that prison sort of theme, that being trapped theme, because the Watchers initially were imprisoned underground.
Yeah.
And then you've got the people in the coop who are sort of in a prison. You could argue Mina's imprisoned by her grief.
Yes.
You know, you even got The Lair of Love, which is in essence a reality show where people are locked in a house. Like,
and that's a video that she watches on the TV in the coop. Exactly. It's kind of, it has got a little bit of layer in here. It's definitely, and I think that probably it benefits from stemming from a book. It does have a little bit more going on in the background. So it'll be interesting to see watching it a third time. Like most of us will have read, the book or a bit of the book by the time we watch it for a third time, and just sort of see how that impacts our viewing. So I guess,
So the other thing, of course, is the book leaves it open for a sequel. So I think in the first episode, Adam, you said it felt like there was some almost things being set up for a sequel. And yeah, the book itself does set that up. So
Yeah.
one other thing, just we're talking about external inputs to help inform our third
that's
viewing.
right, yeah.
We were lucky enough to get in contact with Eli Arenson, who was the cinematographer on the film, and we're able just to put a couple of quick questions to him. And the first thing we asked was just, did the film find you or did you find the film? And he said the film found him. He was reached out to by Ashana and her team. And then after they had an initial meeting, there was a second meeting with Dad, with the famous M. Night Shyamalan, and he came on board from there. We then asked a little bit about what sort of cinematic or visual images inspired the look of the film. Some of you may have seen a film called Lamb, which was a film Eli worked on previously. And there was a lot about sort of nature playing a real role in that. And I sort of said, look, a lot of what you did there probably could say very similar about how the Watchers worked. And he said that they definitely tried to use nature as much as possible and shoot in real locations. They were really deep in the Irish woods for most of the shooting, so working with the elements meant a lot of working with it and not against it, which informed a lot about camera and lens choices, how to light things, etc. But he did say, other than that, there was a bit of a different approach in the visual language because Lamb was a very minimalist sort of film without a lot of camera movement, whereas The Watchers is what he described as quite maximalist in its visual style. And then, of course, as we've been talking about a little bit, the film has a dark fairy tale feel. And was it the intention to make the woods another character? And how much input did he get from Ashana about how to put the look of it together, and how much came from the book? He said he didn't actually draw much from the book. A lot of it really came from Ashana and the two of them discussing and looking at images and sort of testing things out. They would take cameras into the woods and they would test the lighting, smoke levels, that sort of thing, until they found a little bit of a language. He said they actually drew a lot of inspiration, and this is something Adam will know more about than I will, from a lot of animes, and they from Miyazaki, if Miyazaki is something you're familiar with. Yeah. I do not know what that is.
Miyazaki, the samurai, no, that's Kurosawa.
That's right, I thought it's about, they took sort of Japanese anime type influences into that as well.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that's terrific.
So thanks to Eli for
thank you very
helping us out there.
Yeah.
That's cool. Do we know what else he worked on apart from Lamb?
Trying to think. I don't think he was. I think he's done a bit of TV work outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can look that.
Yeah, that's all right. I was just wondering if you knew.
So, Adam, last time you watched this film, what did you rate it?
We were rating it in like parrots, weren't we?
Yeah,
Caged birds.
Yeah, parrots.
And I gave it a 5, I think.
What do you give it this time?
I will give it 4.
Oh, goodness. Okay, a full point down.
Yeah, I think so.
Less birdies.
Because
one dead bird.
So I just find the whole setup of this movie is so frustrating. The whole time you're watching it, I spend the whole time, and this is even though when you know the answers, you're watching it thinking particularly of, what's her name? Is it the old woman? Madeline. You're like, how do you know these rules? Who taught you these rules? How did you find out the rules? Who built the place? How many people have gone through the process of not trusting you and dying to land on these other 2 people that are in the bunker? All these questions. And slowly as the movie goes on, these questions get answered. And the answers are just so unsatisfying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd actually take the opposite opinion, to be honest with you.
Good.
I actually think, because I had similar questions to what you had, but then it becomes very interesting, and that's what I'm looking forward to next time, is realising that Madeline is a spy and that she is that fox in the henhouse kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because she made up the rules.
Yep.
She decides, because she nicks off during the day to go talk to her watcher mates.
Yeah.
And then she comes back and she says, well, you can't go outside after dark and you must do this and you can't do that.
Okay, but then at least field some doubt in the characters. It's like no one's ever questioned you. And if they did, what did you say? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, just a little bit of that. I feel like it needs. Yeah.
So, Mark, last time, what did you rate it?
I gave it a 4. 4 birdies.
Okay. And where are you sitting now?
Look, I'm
Where on your perch?
Where am I on my perch? I am edging further up the perch. So I'd be inclined, I'm going to give it a 5. I'm at a 5 now.
Okay.
I've swapped with Adam in that
Yeah,
regard.
we've
We've
done
swapped,
swapsies.
Swaps it is.
swapped our perch places.
Oh, goodness.
There's a
okay.
palpable change.
Ooh, yes, I can feel it in the air.
Word a day.
I have a prediction. Next episode, we'll both level out to 4.5.
Yeah, maybe.
And leave Tracy out of it.
Well, yeah, because last time I rated this one a 6.5, 6.5 birds.
Too high.
And now I've leveled that out a bit to a 6 out of 10 birds. I think it was still entertaining. Like I said, it held my attention. Like, I was involved and I was going, oh God, what's that twist? And oh, yeah. So, and I think having that base level of understanding about what was going on, being able to see, really for me, it was so clear about the changeling sort of storyline. I got heaps more from Mina's story as well. So yeah, 6 out of 10. Because it's a decent film, and
I think Mina's got an interesting story arc.
yeah,
I'm still not sure if I'm sold on how Dakota approached the role.
no,
But it's an interesting storyline, so...
yeah. So okay, well there we are with parrots
Indeed.
in the cage,
Yes.
in the coop.
The Watchers Part 2.
Yeah, The Watchers Part 2. So if you liked listening to this podcast and liked listening to us talk about birds and pigeons and soft motions.
And being watched.
Pardon?
Being watched.
And being watched, then please consider following our podcast wherever you're listening or
Don't
whatever
consider,
platform.
just do it.
Just do it.
Don't question
and
it.
please
Just let it
share
happen.
it with anybody else who you think might benefit from listening to us.
Madeline says it's the rules.
Yes,
Madeline
it's the
says
rules.
It's the rules.
Exactly.
We're also over on Facebook. We're Sinister Siblings. Look us up, hit a follow, and keep up to date with what we're doing, when we've got our next release coming out.
Yes.
And we'd love to have you and love to hear from you.
And please, if you do follow us, please leave a review as well, because
Absolutely.
that will help people find us, and we can continue to enjoy all the films that hopefully you love too.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we will be back with part 3 very soon.
Yes, we will.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.